Welcome back. Hi, I'm Queen D, and I'm just going to rewind a little bit what we're talking about. We're talking about different types of men, and I've kind of narrowed it down to three kinds: the narcissist, masculine manipulator, the pimp, or the man child, the soft feminized mama's boy type. And I mean that in a negative way, not the positive mama's boys. The men that take care of his mother. Now I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones who are bullied and bossed around, the simps. That was a title that the late Kevin Samuels gave. Now, if you know anything about Kevin Samuels, he would bully on the air, on videos, about women. But he also talked about the men too, telling them what not to be. Unfortunately, he left his footprint and stain on a lot of men who are now taking the platform to be for him on TikTok and Instagram. That's just a segue. But getting back to what I was talking about. When I left, I went to commercial break. I was talking about the simps. Being a man that is being pushed around and dominated by a bossy woman. Now, queens out there, we've already been labeled, I'm talking about our community, as angry black women, bossy women. But I will blame the men for some of this too. The reason why a lot of women become boss ladies, quote unquote, super women, quote unquote, I can do it all by myself, quote unquote, is because you put them, us, in a position to feel we had no choice. If the man is not home or the father figure wasn't there, she has no choice but to survive. If you look back in slavery time, she would take care of the master's house and her house too, because she didn't have a choice. So that generation, it's almost like a generational curse, has continued all the way to now. She's got her own bag, she can do her own thing. She can even go to a sperm bank and get her sperm and insert it herself and have a child without you. That's where we are in today's world. Yes, the world's got kind of twisted now, because now the men are laying back and got backpacks and strollers and adopting children without women, and or laying back saying, I'm gonna let her go out and work because I like being at home taking care of the kids, or just being home laying there playing video games, whatever. So a lot of that stuff was pushed upon women, because I'll be honest with you, women love being feminine. It's in our nature. It's in our nature to want to care for her family and her man. Even the most high-powered executive woman, give her a chance to lay back and see what she'd do for you. If she could take a big inhale and exhale, she'll do just that. If you can convince her that you're a king and you can take care of things, she'll be glad to put down that briefcase and relax. Because every queen, even though there's a king inside of her, there's a feminine side that says, hey, I need an alpha man. I need a head of household. I need a man who wants to provide for me. It's not that I can't take care of myself. It's just that I want a helpmate, someone when I can sit back and say, he got this. It's not that she don't have it or she can't do it by herself. She needs to exhale. Miss Executive, Miss Stay-at-home mom, CEO, taking care of the kids and getting right and making sure that the kids go to soccer and basketball and football, and making sure she's at the PTA, and making sure she's at the parent-teachers meeting, and making sure she's got the groceries, and making sure the clothes are clean, and making sure she signed all the student slips, and making sure that her man has dinner, or even if she's not cooking it, she's ordering it. Making sure the house is run well, or the apartment, wherever she lives or they live. She's got a lot. Making sure that the doctor bills and the dentist bills and the kids and everybody is safe and feeling good and warm and cozy. Yeah, she wants to exhale. She does. You better believe she wants to exhale. She's got a lot on her plate. That doesn't take away from you being a king. Let's talk about a king. What makes a man a king? Well, God meant for you to be the king. That's why he created Adam first and said, I will give you dominion over everything. That means you're the boss over everything. That means your house, your property, your woman. That's something to be proud of. That's something to put your head up high. That's a great feeling to be a leader and not a follower. A man with purpose. Yeah. A man who's not confused about what he wants out of life. A man who knows what he wants and how to go get it. I don't care if you're in the boardroom or on the street hustling. Whatever you got to do to make money, you still a man. And you're supposed to step up to the plate. That's the position and honor that was given to you. And you should be very proud of that. It's an honor to be chosen. It's an honor to be a leader. It's an honor to much is given, much is required. You're supposed to take your rightful place on the throne. You're supposed to want a queen, not just any woman. You ain't supposed to be hanging out and clubbing all day and thinking you can be responsible at the same time getting drunk. That's right, I said it. Hanging out, laying around, smoking weed or taking drugs. That's right, I said it. Because a leader, okay, even if you was a drug dealer, hypothetically, you don't crack where you eat. That means the leader ain't gonna take the drugs because he's gotta have a clear head. Okay? Not that I'm advocating that, but that's just an analogy. So, kings out there, every man and every woman has that in them, naturally. We are all born with purpose. It's our job to find out what it is and do that. Do that. Well, you might say, well, you know, I wanted to be this great actor, but that's already taken. Denzel got it. No. Denzel ain't gonna live forever. No. He would not have, you would not be in this world if God did not have a plan for your life, for my life. And guess what? You will continue to grow, even from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, whatever. Look at Betty White, Eubie Blake, Cicely Tyson. We're talking about people who live super long lives, including my dad. Okay? I don't want to talk about that because I'll get too emotional. But my dad had 3 jobs. My father was born in 25, when he was still wearing knickers, newsies, while his aunt and his mother was out there picking cotton and had to be winches, and you know what a winch is. That's why my father was so fair. Okay? I don't have to go into all of that. The point I'm trying to make is this. If he can make it, anybody can. because he walked to school with no shoes on. He didn't have much clothes. He waited till he hit about 17 and went into the Navy, came out of the Navy, saved every dime, sent it back to his mother and sister so she could continue her schooling, married, saved all his money, bought his first house, bought his second house, bought his third house. I still have the ledgers from my father when he was working in 1960. He wrote down everything he ever did and everything he had to do. One of the most dependable men on earth. Responsible. That's right. Responsible. So, what does it take to be a king? I wrote down some things. Don't take much. One is discipline. Discipline is one. The concept of a king is to take care of self first, because if you don't take care of self, just like a queen, if you don't do self-care, you can't take care of nobody. You got to take care of your own body first and your own mind and spirit first. That's where prayer comes in. That's where faith comes in. That's where hope comes in. Family. Take care of your family. Whether you got just a wife, or baby on the way, or children. Take care of your family. Community. My father was a community man. That's why I love community. I've done soup kitchens. I made sure my children have done soup kitchens. I made sure they did Habitat for Humanities. I made sure that they traveled to different countries with the church to do missionary work. That doesn't mean everybody has to do that. You can do missionary right in your own neighborhood. There's always something you can do. There's always something that you can do. Even if you're a shy person, you just want to write out a check to help the church, to help them. There's always something you can do. And like I've always said, you could have $1. If everybody gave $1, say there's 1 million people, and each person gave $1. How much is that? $1 million. That's it. Yeah. So, serve, teach, and protect. That is what a king does. He serves, he teaches, and protects. He's a mentor. He's a protector. Yes. And he protects his family. To lead. That's the agenda of a king. To lead. So you have to be spiritual, mental, emotional, and physically sound in every way. Yes. That's a divine order of a king. That's a divine order. To be a king, you have to feel like one. Well, you say, Queen, I grew in an abusive house. Or I grew up poor. Or, everybody got a story. One of these days I'll write a book, you'll be surprised about Queen's story. But Queen I'm not ready to tell my story because it was so painful with certain things that happened to me when I got grown that I said, I can't tell, because even though it's good therapy, it might make me upset. So I said, but I'm almost healed with that now. I've been praying to God about that. I'm just about healed with it. And one of these days I will write a book about it. Because I know when that time comes, I'm giving a testimony to help other people. So that's why I'm going to do it. When God says, okay, Queen, it's time for you to write that book, I'm going to be like, okay, God, I'm going to write that book. Because I know he got my back, no matter what I do. He wouldn't tell me to do it if he didn't have my back. So you can trust God on that one. But as I was saying, we all have it in us to be the best version of who we are. The only one you're fighting with is yourself. You ever seen that video with Kirk Franklin and he's fighting with his other self, boxing with his other self? I've always said it doesn't matter how many punches you hit, how many punches that you do. How many punches can you take? See, you can throw them out. How many can you take? I know a lot of us got a story and a testimony because we've taken a lot of punches and we're still here. That means you do have greatness in you because everybody has it inside of them. And if you're lacking anything, it's because it's a spiritual thing. If you got a lot of hurt and pain, then you need to be talking to a psychologist, a counselor, a mentor, and above all, God. He's the author and the finisher. And as long as you're here, you got stuff to do. I've always said that. We all got stuff to do. So kings and queens out there, because I've had people say to me, well, I don't feel like a king, or why you call her a queen, or, well, I'm not no king. That means you have broken consciousness. You have broken consciousness. If you don't feel that you are that doesn't mean that you're not. It just means that you're hurt. There's areas in your life that make you feel less than, and you have a good reason for that. And nobody's taking that away from you. But know one thing. If you say it enough, king or queen, if you look in the mirror and give yourself affirmations, even if it feels weird to you, sooner or later, it's like smiling. Your body takes on the form of what you want to become. It will manifest itself in you. And I always say, if you are around negativity, blood related or not, find a place where you can go be in a safe space, a positive space with good energy. And that's all I have to say for today. I want to thank all of you for listening. I'm Queen D. I hope there was something I said to you that resonated in your spirit and that will bless your life. And remember one thing. Be the best version of who you are, because you are blessed. We are blessed and highly favored. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.